Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning, you guys. Hello, hello. Is that Leslie? Hello, Leslie. Oh, it's so hot. I'm like, I have all my doors shut in the studio and I'm trying to keep it as cool as possible because I'm going to be videoing some lessons later. And it's just like, oh, it's good. Hello, hello. I know it is so hot. So hot, which I actually have to say I'm really happy that it's June and it's so sunny. So hello, you guys. Okay, I gotta put my glasses on so I can read all your awesome comments. Hello, Molly, and hey, Beth. Good morning, good morning. Yep, it is. It is. My husband was just telling me a friend of mine went to go see his baseball thing and it was 104 degrees. Oh. And I know some of you guys that are on here, it's like that. That's how hot it is in the summertime. So I just like melt. I'm a melty. We're going to do, and I'm going to wait for everybody to get on before I get started. But do you guys remember last week I was telling you about our dinner? Did I tell you guys in this group? I think I might have. That it's like the one thing I brought back from, not the one thing, but one of the inspirations. Thanks, Deborah. It's one of the inspirations from my trip was to do these family gathering dinners. And so tonight we're going to have it outside. I'm going to hopefully take a few photos. It's something that never gets to happen where I live because usually it's freezing. So yes, Molly, so true. Okay, so you guys, if you haven't, signed up for my newsletter, I'm doing this thing where I'm just going to start writing some of the inspiration I get from some of my trips and putting it in my newsletter. So hop on over to my site, AndreaGarvey.com, and you can sign up. Hello, Denise. Okay, you guys, tell me, maybe I should wait another minute. Hold on, let me see what time it is. I have my iPad over here because I don't have a watch on and I don't have, and when I'm live, you can't tell what time it is. And we're going to be doing some timed exercises today. Okay, so whoever's on already, would you type in the comments what time it is for you guys? I'm trying to gather and guess the best times to do some Zoom sessions. I'm dreaming up something really yummy for us in October. And I'm so excited, you guys. I can't really share too much about it, but there's going to be a bunch of live Zoom sessions in there and I'm trying to figure out the best time. So let me know what time it is for you guys right now. It is 10 o'clock for me. 10:03. Well, that's right, Molly, you're on. Everybody's on my time. Okay, good. I just want to know, like, I think I do have some Australian friends and I believe it's like 3 a.m. Oh, Christina, hello. Wait till you see Christina. Look what I'm going to show everybody today. This is your idea. Bonnie, okay, good. Everybody's all different, but you know, it's good to know. And if there's times that don't work too, I'm trying to like get a consensus of what works. Oh, Chris, that's right. You're in Hawaii. You guys, we're going to Hawaii next month. I can't believe how like indulgent this summer is going to be for me. It was like totally different trips happened to be planned. And my husband found some really good flights to Hawaii, like really cheap for us. I mean, crazy. It's just to put into perspective. Okay, so to fly to Hawaii from California, it was like $250. And to fly, and I don't know if that's now, but it was, but to fly for me to go to Buffalo, okay, to go to Buffalo, my mom's on, hello, Nanny. It was it's $1,000, sorry, not 100, 1,000. My mom is flying out here and it has using like points and rewards, but Southwest was like that price too. It's insane. So somehow my hubby got some amazing tickets to Hawaii. So we're going as a family. But I'll be taking all my sketchbooks and stuff like that. So, all right, so I'm going to get started. And I just want you guys to grab a pen. If you have any watercolors handy, some sketching paper or a sketchbook or a journal, anything goes. It's so easy today. And I'm going to show you some flowers, but what I really want to do is do a couple sketches with you guys. And I want you to pretend you're on vacation. So if you have a photo of something that's from somewhere where you've traveled, grab it. And if you don't have that, don't even worry about it. Like, you can do it of your flowers, or you could sketch of anything. But we're gonna do two different types of sketches. Today we're gonna do one where it's gonna be just a pen and paper and like 5 minutes. And I just really wanna show you how easy it is to do like a 5-minute sketch. And you think like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything in 5 minutes, but you can. You definitely can. And then we're going to do a little longer, like a 20-minute watercolor sketch. And I have some photos to show you of what I'm going to be doing, so you can either just watch me do it, or you can do one of yours at the same time, or come back and watch it and do one of yours at the same time. But I'm really just here to encourage everybody to grab your little sketchbook and know that in a short amount of time, you can get a super fast sketch done, which is so good for so many reasons. One, it just completely like fills that creativity spark inside of you to go that, oh, that was so easy and I love doing it, and maybe tomorrow I'll do that, or maybe on my next trip I'll bring my sketchbook with me. I get a lot of people who say to me, I can't sketch, or I don't know how to do that. And you don't need to know how. You really don't. It's not like how can I put this? It's not like you're going to bring your sketchbook to go get a job, or to put it in an art gallery, or to sell it. I mean, sure, some people sell their art journals, but very few. It's really your own private thing. It's your own book, and you can share it if you want or not. And it's really just about you being in practice, which is a whole nother thing, but practice is so good for so many reasons. And then we just get better at it, right? Okay, so hold on, I'm gonna show you my flowers. I'm looking at my little kitty down there. Maybe I'll let her in. Maybe she has a mouse in her mouth. Okay, look at these. So I picked these yesterday. I love this time of year for my flowers. I actually got some of these from Mark's stepmom. I went to her house yesterday. Poor thing, she's had to have her whole entire garden ripped out to put in a new septic tank. So they live up above a hill, and they're in an area where they have to have septic tanks. And so her whole garden was full of 26 rose bushes with all these other plants and trees, and the whole thing got pulled out and flattened. So she has all her bushes labeled and numbered in little pots. They have to cut them down to nothing. And I went over there yesterday to kind of help her figure out where they all go. But in her back garden, she's growing like these beautiful flowers. So these, I think, are the freesia. I think I had these a few months ago, and maybe they're not. You know what? I'm starting to think they begin with an A. You guys, tell me what this one is, because I definitely want to grow it. And I think we've had this conversation a few times. Like, I think I've said it was freesia. I don't think it is. Okay. This one is like do you see this one? This one is really, these attract the bees and the butterflies, and there's a name for this one too. That's right, Kathy. Thank you. I knew it began with A. Okay. And she also has tons of orchids that just grow outside. And so she's like, cut your orchid. Oh, that's right, Leslie. I remember you were saying that you were so allergic to them. Okay, well, I won't have them in my studio if you ever come to visit. Then this was my rose from last week that's doing a little bit of its last leg. And I have another couple roses in here. And then this one smells so good. But still, my roses are really tiny. I'm starting to think that's because I live closer to the water. And my sweet peas are still, as my husband would say, they're rictorine out of here. So I think I probably have a few more weeks, because it's getting really hot here, which is a little unusual for us. Some of these plants are not really hot weather plants, so we'll see how long the sweet peas last. So anyway, I picked these for you guys. Whoops. I picked them for you, and they're dripping and dropping. All right, so you guys have your stuff to get started. I'm gonna flip our camera around and we are gonna go and do some things. So these are the pens I have. So grab a pen, like I'm using Micron. You could use a Pitt Castell, or anything, literally anything. A pencil is 100% fine. I have two little paintbrushes. I don't know what this one is actually. Yeah, I have two paintbrushes, but I usually just use one when I'm doing my watercolor sketches. And I have a couple little pan sets, okay? So that's it. And my sketchbook. For the quick sketch, I'm just using one of these guys, like a little drawing sketchbook, okay? So you could even use copy paper. It doesn't matter. All right, I'm gonna flip us around. Hold on. Did the fog roll in? Oh, it hasn't yet here. Okay, hold on. Flipping. Look how beautiful it is outside. Okay, I have to actually move this over here. And I have some, I'm so excited to show you some of the photos. I don't have a ton. I just went to our local photo place yesterday and I printed some out. Well, they printed it out for me. I just did some 4x6s. I was gonna do 4x5s. You guys, the price of a 4x5 was $2.50 each. That is crazy talk. So I might have to go somewhere else, but I was at Bay Photo. Hello, Lynn. And that was insane. All right, so first I'm gonna use this little guy, okay? But I wanna show you some photos first and tell you like what I wanna sort of sketch. And then we're gonna set a timer. Okay, so I've got I'm probably gonna stick to, when I was on my trip, I did a lot with a number 5. Okay, so I'm just gonna, and when I go on trips, and what I recommend if you're gonna go on a trip is to bring a few of these. You know, I would have a few of these handy in your bag because the tips can kind of get, I don't know, smushed down if you use it a lot like I did. So, all right, so let me show you, we're gonna save this for a minute. I'm so excited though. Oh my gosh. Okay, don't let me forget to show you all those. That is for my Goddess Bella Flora class that I'm working on right now. But let's concentrate on this for a minute. So these are some photos, and for you guys who are on my newsletter list, my next one that I'm gonna hopefully send out Monday or Tuesday will be all about Milan, and I'm trying to break it up into like 4 or 5 newsletters and blogs so that it's not too much to take in. But I looked at all the photos last night of Milan, and I think I had like 40 that I want to share, and I think I might have to pare that down, and then I'll have a post and I'll let you guys know. But these are these are some of my favorites of Lake Como, and I think I'm going to end up, let me go closer so you guys can see. I think I'm gonna end up using this one when we do our watercolor sketch because it's so beautiful. This is in Bellagio, and it was looking through, there was a hole, I think I even talked about this last week. There was a hole like this size in an iron door. And I took my camera and I put my phone, right to the hole. And this is what the view was. And this is what all of Lake Como looks like. So it's just, you know, the amount of photos I have like this, are insane. But I thought this would be a really pretty one to do for our watercolor. So I'm gonna put that one aside, and that will be our watercolor. This is just one I took of our first night in our villa, and Dawn was setting up for us to have a long table dinner, and it wasn't quite finished with the way they decorated it, but it was so beautiful. And these are windows that were in the living room when you walked out, and this is like sort of the view. So I thought that was so gorgeous. And that's another thing that would be a good like 5-minute sketch. So I'm just gonna put that over here. Then there was these are steps that were in all of the villages in Lake Como. There's your lake, and then you have these villages that are, you know, go up the side of mountains. I mean, it's not really that high, but they start at the bottom and then they work up. So there's a little bit of hills, and they're all these beautiful, like, cobblestones and old alleys, and it's just like, this is the stuff that I absolutely love, love, love. So that's another fun one that could be a cute, you know, sketch. This is one where we had walked up to, sorry, I gotta take my shoes off already. We had walked up to this chapel, and this is us all walking down, and I just thought it was so beautiful, the side of the mountain. This is not the chapel. We're like halfway down. This is just on the way down. I thought that was really beautiful. And then this I wanted to show you because this is really fun. This is 3 a.m. You have to imagine this, all right? So I'll set the scene. I'm in my bed. Renee's in the bed next to me. We share a room, but we love to sleep with the windows open and the curtains open. And so I would wake up really early, but for some reason I woke up really early, like 3 in the morning. I did go back to sleep, but when I woke up, this was the view that I had outside my window. Like, is that insane? And what I did was, I was like, okay, I don't really want to get up and take a photo because that might keep me awake, but I do want to get up and take a photo because this is the most beautiful thing. And across from where we were staying is this town called Verena, and we were over here. That's our dock where that's our driveway, that's our dock that's lit up, but the whole entire village at 3 in the morning is still lit up so much, which I can't believe. I'm trying to figure out, like, why is it all lit up? But it was. And then this is the moon, and this is the moon rising or setting. It must have been setting. I have to rethink what that's definitely the moon rising. Sorry. So you know how like the moon will change when it comes up. And this was really early in the morning when that was happening. And it was just incredible. I just had to share that with you guys today. This is one where I'm just going to show you really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is a restaurant where Renee and I had dinner, and we, okay, I have 2 sketches to show you about this. Sometimes it's easier to see a sketch and then the photo after so you understand what I was doing. Okay, this is, oopsie, hold on. All right, let's see if we can see this. So this is when we're sitting like right here on an outside table, and this is the view. It's this pier. There's all these little boats. These people would just like walk and be happy. And then this is the view in the back, all these gorgeous mountains. And so when I sat at dinner, this is what I sketched. And I decided, like, what do I want to sketch and pull out? And so when you are sketching, you know, I didn't have the pier and I didn't have all the boats. I really just wanted to concentrate on what was back here. And then when I went to go do a watercolor sketch, I really just wanted to concentrate on the mountains, because when you sketch, okay, when you sit with your sketchbook and you really spend some time just looking, what happened to me was I was so mesmerized by these mountains back here and the colors. There were so many different colors of all different blues and indigos, and just they were faded. It was so absolutely gorgeous that when I came and I did this, is all I could think about was the just layering of the colors. And I did this whole thing with just these colors from Wild Thorn. So I did them all with this blue, which I can't read what that is. I'm not too sure what that name is, but I did it all with this blue and this green, and that's it. I might have added a tiny bit of their indigo. They have a very dark indigo. It's almost black, but it's also, you can add a lot of water to it and just get some of these darker colors in here. So that's it. And that's all I did. And it's just something that I'll never forget, this view. So, you know, those are kind of things that happen when you do take a sketchbook on your trip, is that you actually see things very differently, I think, than just like a quick glance, because it makes you really stop and look. This is another really cool one that I thought would be fun to sketch as well. Maybe I'll do this as our 5-minute one, because you have this gorgeous arch that are in lots of places in Italy, you know, these like little hidden alleys, and then you have this beautiful area. This was the restaurant that we ended up eating in. That is this restaurant, not this restaurant, but this night where we walked down. So you walk down here to the very end, and this is what is at the bottom. And so that's their little village. It's only like a few little alleys, but this is the restaurant that we ended up eating in. That was fantastic, by the grandmas that were making the pasta. So I think I'll do this one. Let me pull this one aside. And that's just a close-up of it. This was the restaurant. This I thought was another great one that we could sketch too. This is just when you take the boats, when you take the rides, or even if you're taking a ferry, when you're in Lake Como, when you go from one place to another by boat. Rarely do you use a car. It's hard to get there because it's just too long to go from one village to a next. But all along the lake dotted are these gorgeous houses that are colorful. And look at those shutters. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that. Is that just the most beautiful little house? Like, put me there in a minute and I will be in heaven. So, and then this was part of, let me show you. Let me show you. This is part of Leonardo's home. This right here is the other side of this is in here. So you'd walk through this house and there was a courtyard on the other side, and it was this beautiful home. It had wisteria. There's a lot of wisteria, and there's also a lot of grapes that people grow as their kind of vine, and then they also have the greenery all summer long. So amazing. Okay, do you guys have your pen or your pencil handy? I'm gonna set a timer. You guys are all there, right? Because I don't see anybody saying anything, so I want to make sure I am live. Looks like I am. Somebody give me a thumbs up. It's 10:23. All right, I'll just wait. I think you guys are all there. Yep. Okay, good. Thank you. Just me chatting away. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to set a timer, and I just want to show you what we can get done in 5 minutes. Okay, Beverly. Yes, you guys are all ready at the ready. So let me just set my timer, and I just want to show you that. Remember, when you guys do this, don't think it has to be perfect. You're literally looking and sketching, and that is it. All right. So I'm going to start my timer, and I'm going to go. And I think first I will do my little arch. So when I do this type of work, I try to find my perspective right away and go from there. And just keep looking and looking at your photo. You spent just as much time looking at the photo or actually in the real thing when you're there than you do drawing, okay? That's super important. Just keep looking. And when I sketch, I kind of hop around. All right. I feel like that chime is so sweet. It's like, okay, everybody, let's wake up. Okay, you guys. So let me tell you a few things about that. First of all, did anybody do the same thing? Did anybody do their own 5-minute sketch? I'd love to know what you felt when you were doing it. So put that in the comments because I can read it. My phone is low enough that I can see what you guys say. And I just wanted to talk about this exercise for a little bit. So one thing is that was only 5 minutes. Okay, that is it, 5 minutes. So think about what you think when you have 5 minutes. Like, I only have 5 minutes. It doesn't seem like it's a lot of time. It doesn't seem like you have time to do anything except get the check or, you know, get to the car, or I'm just talking travel terms right now. Or, you know, by the time you sit down and order a coffee, it might take 5 minutes to get it. It might take 5 minutes to get your check. It might take 5 minutes for you to just sit on a bench and take a breath and then sketch. And then I felt hot. Okay, Bonnie, I want to talk about the perspective, and Chris, I want to talk about the time thing. Okay, so this is considered a quick sketch. This is something that I want you to do when you just have 5 minutes. And I know, like, oh my gosh, I look at this and I'm like, oh, I want to shade it in and I want more time. However, this is what I want to talk about because it's really important. Like when I did this book and I brought it with me to Italy, we were somewhere where we had 5 minutes. Oh, right here. I have 5 minutes to do this. And then I wrote down there, you know, maybe I didn't write that I had 5 minutes, but it was pretty fast. And there was another one where, I can't find it, but there was another one where it was really fast too. And that's the whole great thing about having a little sketchbook, because I'll probably not look at this again, but it's just for you to do this practice of sketching it. And then if you loved it, if you were sketching it and you're like, you know, I really love this, I think there's a lot of potential here, that's when I want you to take it and go a little bit more in time. Like when you have an afternoon on your trip, or when you have an afternoon at home and you have a couple hours, then you take your sketch and you take your photo and then you build it up into a watercolor or a pen and ink or something like that. The 5-minute sketches are great for a few things. One, it just gets your hand moving. All right, it gets your hand moving with your eye-hand coordination. It's a really great tool to have in your toolbox, and it's something I recommend you do daily, and that's just doodling or drawing or sketching or anything. It could be in your house and you're sketching a fruit bowl. It doesn't really matter, but it's just it's just about drawing with your hand, but it's also really about looking. And that's what's super important as far as getting the perspective and figuring stuff out. It's only going to happen when you have time to keep doing it over and over. And looking is 50% of actually doing it, okay? And Bonnie says, I never saw in my photo on the side. So does that mean you never looked at the photo when you were sketching? I can't really quite tell what that one is. But what it does is it allows you to see things that you may not have seen. And I'm just going to pick this apart a little bit so you understand what a sketch is. It's just very rough. Like this building over here is not quite right. It's a little bit off, but I don't care. It's just something I did quickly. So I don't want you to get too hung up on not finishing your 5-minute sketch, or it's not done so that it's perfect, okay? It's not perfect. What I also want to just talk about really quickly is that it is, hold on, Christina, I want to answer that. This is also, I want to talk about perspective too. So Christina's asking, where is this so I can document it? I sketched same as you. This is in Lake Como. Are you talking about the photo? The photo's from Lake Como, and it's a little restaurant called Lauro, Lauro, or are you talking about this chat? Because this chat will always be in our Facebook group. And the other thing is when you're, okay, Bonnie, it sounds like I never saw a house on the side of the photo. So yeah, you start to see things that you don't even notice, even in your photos or on your trip. It's amazing. And then right here is, this is like where the lake is. And so this is the top of my houses. So when I'm doing a sketch, I always want to sketch in a perspective where I just put some very basic perspective lines down. So the more you sketch, travel sketching, the more you'll get used to it. And so I always want to start like, where's my horizontal line? So I usually put that in first. I sort of do some of my bigger pieces and then I doodle across in, and these stairs are going closer to my point. Did you guys ever take this class where, let me just show you something, where, I don't know if I can do this exactly, but you have perspective. You have to do this like study. This is not right. You guys, I totally forgot, but there's something, I think it's just innate in me now, but there is like, if you Google just basic perspective drawing, it will show you exactly what I learned in college, in high school. But I can't even remember to explain it. I'm not a very good teacher when it comes to that stuff. But what I do is I find my basic points first. And I know that this village is going down and it's going towards here. Vanishing point. Thank you, Kathy. See, I was like not the, I'm not the best teacher when it comes to things that I can't remember. Anyway, that's a 5-minute sketch and I don't want you guys to worry about it too much, but I do want you to know the main, most important thing is you can take this with you, okay? And put it in your bag. Look how small it is. It's the size of my hand. And you can do a 5-minute sketch anywhere. In fact, if you wanted to, you could get one of these little drawing books. They're like $4 or something. I can't exactly remember anymore the pricing, but you could take that and your Micron pen, and this could be considered your 5-minute sketchbook. So there's no, pressure on the time. It's literally 5 minutes. That's all it is. That is it. You don't need 6 minutes. You just need 5. And you could sit on your bench with a cup of coffee or some tea or some wine, and you could just do a little sketch and you could put it away. I would date it. I would just put a little date down at the bottom, and that way you can always refer back to it, and then you can see how amazing you are and how incredible it is. So that is our quick 5-minute sketch, and I'll probably end up doing a little class on this at some point in time down the road. Maybe, next year or in the spring when I have so many things going on right now, but I think it'll be really fun to do that. And of course, I'll get my act together on my technical terms. Okay, so I'm going to use this book to do the next one. This is still my Bahong one that, I think I'm saying that, Hong, I think so. And I'm just going to pick a page. I'm going to take this up a little bit. You guys, I'm so hot in here right now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to work on my class. When I get really hot, look at these gross veins that stick out. Ugh. That's what happens to me when I get hot. My kids saw that and they were like this, oh, Mom, those veins are awesome. And I was like, no, they're not. They were like, no, they are. They're so cool for a man. That's my kids. All right, so I'm moving this over here so you can see it. I might scooch down a little bit and just concentrate here. I just want you to see how fun it is to take a little pan set with you on a trip. Now, here's the thing about the watercolors is that watercolors are not necessarily a 5-minute deal, okay? But I just want to show you how I do a really fast watercolor, but still using some details. I'm using this pan set from, is it Prima? I think it's Prima. I'm going to move that over here so you can see. all right? And when I was traveling, I used the same brush. Nope, not this one. I used a number, I think I've used it so much. I might have to switch this, but I'll try it. I used a number 4 on almost everything I did, okay? And I had the same water, so I'm not fancy. I don't change my water out. I literally do this pretty fast. And I have usually a napkin with me because when I'm changing my colors, I'll just really want to clean my brush. When I used to work, when I started out doing travel sketches, I would do it in pencil first. And then I just got more confident because I did it so much. So if you're doing this with me and you're feeling a little like I can't go right to watercolors, then what I recommend you do is you take a pencil and you go very lightly. Like I would take like a very, very light pencil, and then you block in your main shapes and then go over it with watercolor. And I've certainly done that before. I'm just gonna get my timer going. We're gonna do it for 15 minutes. It's already 10:40. And we're just gonna see what we can come up with in 15 minutes. So I would either take my watercolors on the plane, and sometimes I would just use my little tiny set. Or if I was by myself, like I'm doing a blog post email next week about traveling by yourself, then I would be like, I'm gonna whip these out and draw them at my table. When I was with Renee, I just did the black and whites because, you know, I'm sitting there having company with her, but she's an artist as well. So she totally got me that I wanted to take my pen out and just do a quick sketch. So depending on who you're with and where you are and how much time you have, these are great to travel with. This is great to travel with. And I'm just going to show you how I would start this one. So if you have one of your photos, you could use the same photo that you had before, and you can kind of see the difference, or you could have a different photo. It doesn't matter. But what I really like about this photo is the colors and the flowers and the lake and the mountains and the sky. And when you are traveling and you don't have time that day to draw, think about when you're taking photos with your phone. Oh, this is so beautiful. I think I want to do a watercolor on it later. Then take a bunch of photos so you have them as your reference. And that's how I did a lot of my watercolors in Italy, is that I would take my photos and I would just hold up my phone next to my, sketchbook, and then I would just paint away from my photo reference. Even though I was there earlier in the day, I just have that as a reference. Monta, here are the two ones that I have. So this one is a tropical set that I absolutely love. It's by Prima, and it doesn't say it on here, but I talk about this a lot in like the watercolor class, I believe. So Prima is something that you can find on Amazon. They're very affordable. It's like $25 for the set. It will last you your lifetime. And they come in lots of different colors and sets. And I love the tropicals because this is the bright one. It's got a beautiful pink and orange and this yellow, except the yellow I think I've trashed, and so I have to kind of clean that up. And to clean it up, it's pretty easy. You just take a bunch of water and you can wipe off that to get them clean again. You can always clean your palettes anytime you want. So this is Prima from Amazon, and then this one, this is sort of like, okay, this is first class. This is not first class. So this is this is probably made on a factory, and made in China, I'm sure. And then this one is handmade actually in my town in Santa Cruz. Wild Thorn is the company. These are all handmade pots that they do, handwritten, absolutely gorgeous. The colors are incredible. And with Wild Thorn, I recommend that you sign up for their newsletter, because their sets will run out like the day they run them, because they only make a very small batch of them. And I love these. I know Leslie got some of these too, but it is a treat. Like for pricing comparison, This is like $25 US, $27 US, and this is more like 60. This also comes wrapped up in the most gorgeous gift you can imagine. So it's sort of like, you know, this is upgrading big time. I think I got it as a gift, or I used my gift birthday money for it. And it's something that I love. I also love how small and sweet they are, and the company is incredible. So that's, you know, sometimes it's just like you pay for what you get. However, I do have to say that I'm very, very, very impressed with this set. And so I just wanted to show you guys the differences, okay? This is just so little, you can stick it in your pocket. All right, back to our sketch. I'm gonna start my timer and go to town on this stuff. I probably won't use Wild Thorn, I'll just put it here. I already know that this is a little bit brighter, so that's why I'm gonna choose this set. And I'm starting the timer, guys. So here we go. Probably won't talk too much, but I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm only gonna paint like in the middle of this book. So first I'm gonna start with my blue. And the nice thing too is like you can pull these out and kind of go for it that way. Put in my mountain. I still am spending quite a lot of time looking at this photo as I'm sort of painting, drawing. I'm trying to get this yellow. So it looks like this is the coconut color. It's probably a little darker. Oops, oh my gosh, I just painted right on my photograph. Can you hear my husband blowing the leaves? Whatever it is, he's gonna get in big trouble when this is over. I'm gonna use this Wild Thorn lighter color. I used this a lot when I was in Milan because of the architecture and the buildings. They're all really this kind of color. Leslie, you're so funny. Yes, you can too. It's not, it took me a while to do it. Here's the trick. I'll tell you while I'm doing this. I'll probably mess up as I'm talking. My trick is when I do sketching watercolor, I try to block it. I try to block in bits at a time. And you'll see, like I use the white space and then I fill in as much as I can later. But really what I'm doing is I'm blocking in, doing these beautiful, the wisteria leaves were, oh, so incredible. There were so many beautiful, just flowers everywhere. I mean, they obviously are not in a, well, they were in a drought when I was there. They didn't have a lot of rain, but I think they do normally have enough rain. It's just all bright and gorgeous. And try and put this wall in. I need a little purple, but this will do. This is the wild thorn. It's not really purple, but you know, it's going to represent some of the colorful flowers. And the thing about when you do this is it's subjective. You can decide what you want to paint, what you want to leave out. And if you notice, I haven't changed my brush. I just use it sometimes differently. The 4 is great because you can do little pointy, like little tiny details, or you can do bigger sort of blobs, however you want to do it. So when you can see, I'm really just painting in white areas. I'm not blending and I'm not putting paint on top of paint quite yet. If I had more time, I would definitely do that. I would go in with more details. Once it's dry, I would add a little bit more. So this is where sometimes I'll go over, like I already had a little bit of that light blue wash down and it's dry now. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more of the darker blue for some shadow and some different color effects. So you can get some of the mountain ridges in here this way. That's how I did my other mountains. What I really don't have that I would like to have is maybe I'm missing one over here. I feel like I'm missing a blue, like a nice aqua blue. It's too dark. Gotta be careful too not to get your hand all over it, like your wrist. I've done that many times. Like I know right away that was just too dark. Hello, Susanna. My awesome sister Susie's on the phone, on her live phone. Maybe she's got her sketchbook out too. So, kind of add a little bit of red. Got some red flowers in here. I don't know if I love those red flowers, actually. They got a little too muddy because sometimes when you're still wet, when the paint is still a little wet and I've added some to the green, it just gets a little muddy. So that's why I work more in blocks. I don't even know. I think my timer's going to go any second. I have no idea. So we'll see where we are. Isn't it amazing how, like, it's only been 15 minutes? That's it. That is it. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Susie, you're so sweet. Thank you, Christina. So, Susanna, where are you shooting a wedding? I hope it's not too hot for you. My sister is an incredible photographer in the Sacramento area. Anybody needs photography? Oh, do you guys hear that chime? Okay, I hear ya. Okay, so let me just zoom out for a little bit. So that was just to show you oh yeah, it will be hot. So that's just to show you that's 15 minutes. That's it, 15 minutes. And now I know that I did it. You might think, oh, that's like a lot that you did in 15 minutes, but you got to remember that I do this a lot. So it's the same thing. The more you practice, the faster you'll get at it. And the more you look and study, that's all just going to come from practice. But I just want to encourage you that it really is not a lot you need to have if you just want to go to a park or you are sitting in a cafe. It's not taking up a lot of room. And I think it's something that we can all just do. And the reason why I like to, let me just zoom down for a second so you can see this. The reason why I like to paint in this style is because I know I'm doing it fast and I like the white that I see. It's like, to me, the white represents also light, like Light. It is light, but I work around my color. So I'm blocking things in. I'm not watercoloring where I'm blending and I'm dealing with a lot of water and I'm dealing with a lot of other colors. I really do like to block in when I'm doing this type of sketching. For me, it makes it, well, one, it's a time thing. I don't have hours. I just have a little bit of time. So I know what I can get away with. And if I was using a lot of water and I was doing a lot of blending, then I'm not going to be able to get as far as I want with what I see in my vision or what I see in my photograph. And it's the same thing as a 5-minute sketch as far as I looked at my perspective. I looked at the things I wanted to have. I wanted to make sure there was a mountain in there. There was the lake in there. The greenery and the flowers are what I'm attracted to. The building is, to me, represents, there are balconies and there are shutters and I have this sort of road leading down to the lake. And that's all part of the reason why I picked those out to put in here for our 15 minutes. So before I talk to you guys about my goddesses, do you guys have any questions on how you did with your sketch or what you felt when you were doing it? I'd love to know. And if you want to share them in our group, we would love to see them, only if you want to. That's fine. I'm going to try and put these back in the somewhat of an order that I had them. The pan sets are great too because you can just pull out 1 or 2 colors. You can also mix them. You can also mix your pan sets around. There's 6 here. All right, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So let me show you some of the things that I took, some other photos I took that has been really inspiring for me. And thank you, Christina, who's on the call today, because she recommended I do this. And now I'm so grateful because it has inspired my next class that I'm calling Bella Flora, which is the goddess of flowers. How cool is that? All right, I'm just going to put this aside. And when you're working in a color sketchbook, when you're working with watercolors in a sketchbook, I'll go back to the second, but I wanted to watch you do first. Oh, thanks, Leslie. When you're working with watercolors and you're in a journal, make sure you give time to let it dry before you close the book. okay? So just give it, you know, 5-10 minutes and then close the book. And perspective is a little tricky, Kathy, and that is why I do the blocking, and I go little bits in little areas. So you'll see that I hop around you'll see that I hop around from, I put a little bit of the mountain, I put a little bit of the mountain, I put a little bit of the ocean, the lake, a little bit of the greenery, a little bit of the building, and I go back and forth and back and forth. I don't do like my building and then I do my mountain and then I do my lake, because if you're doing this type of sketch, you could do a little bit of your lake and a little bit of your mountain. No, sorry. If I was doing a lot of my lake and a lot of my mountain, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait a second, that's not what it looks like. It would be too hard to like, to nudge it and fix it. When you go a little bit at a time, you can definitely, fix things that don't look perfect. You know, that's how I adjust it. But let me see. Your path looks straight, not like it goes straight up. That's hard to do. Okay, I'm going to answer that. Yes, Annette, totally. I love to throw those things in. So Kathy, like I have this line is somewhat straight on a diagonal going towards the lake. This one is a little bit of a curve. So it's got one going here and then one kind of curving down to my point here. And then when you look at the picture, it's a similar thing where you have this one line going to this point, and this is a tiny bit on a curve going to this point. And it's also, you know, look at your photos or your reference in front of you in your eyes as much as you can. That is really important. So, all right, so let me put this away. And okay, so you guys, oh my gosh. All right, so Christina's like, she's like, go take photos of the goddesses sculptures. And I did, and I'm so happy. So I just want to share with you, some of these are screenshots that I grabbed off the web, but I wanted to show you how beautiful these faces are, okay? And so these are not ones I took in Italy. These are ones that I was so inspired that then I went on a goddess hunt, okay, as my reference. But look, my girlfriend, Melissa, for my birthday, she bought me this. You guys, what? So she bought me this before I went on my trip. And then Christina's like, go look at the faces. And then all of a sudden I started Googling the faces, and I have my own right here in front of me. And so my next class is going to be all about flowers from Italy, but also sculpture, and using the goddess and her beautiful face as my reference for my face that I'm going to be doing. And so some of these are other ones that I took when I was in Italy that I wanted to show you. I'm going to zoom in so you can see them a little bit better. So whether it's a woman's face or it's a man's face or a boy's face, to me it didn't matter. I just wanted to get this sort of gorgeous, light, you know, full lips, very sweet, angelic face, and that was sort of what I was looking for. And then I thought it'd be really fun to paint flowers a little bit in the hair, whether that becomes more of a crown or something like that. Clarissa's, yes, I was reading about that. Yes, the Greek goddess. And then look at this one. Okay, so this was one at one of the villas, but I just shot it from below and looked up. But again, like just something beautiful we could put in their hair, and just like the simplicity of, you know, that kind of glance, just very, very angelic. I loved it. So this was another one. Let me just move these out of the way so they don't get distracting. This was another one that I took that was through, okay, so this was taken through a bar, like an iron gate in Bellagio, down one of the steps. and it was somebody's like house, and part of the wall up to the house had all these little sculptures that were sort of embedded into the wall. I just thought that was so beautiful. This is another one. Just such the sweet face and the adornment in the hair. This was another one. This is a side view. So when you're traveling and you're thinking about things like that, you know, different things will be very inspiring, and sometimes you don't even know it till you get home. Like just the way she's holding, I don't know what she's holding. I don't think it's a baby, but she's holding something. But I was thinking we could do one where we're holding these flowers. And then this one is a man that was in Milan. He was probably a very young, I don't know if he was a saint or anything, but his sculpture was there. And I just thought that that face was just incredible. Look. So these were made so many years ago. I mean, look at that face. And I know we're on Facebook, so it's hard to sometimes see how clear these are, but I just wanted to show you. Oh my gosh, I'm in total heaven doing this class. All right, I'm gonna flip us around. Flip, 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 and finish with a little quote for us. Not even a quote, our little card pack. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome, Bonnie. Where's my deck? Hold on. Hold on, I'm Cricket. Where's my deck? Where is it? I had it out this morning. Turn it. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Where's my kitty? My kitty. Oh, I should let my kitty in, actually. Where is my kitty? Let's see if Basil's coming. Oh, I can see her. She's out there in the shade having fun. Okay, did you guys like that little sketch? Hopefully you guys like that. I never know what I'm gonna actually even chat or do on our Saturdays, but there's always something in the middle of the week. I'm like, oh yeah, that would be really fun. So, all right, so I'm pulling from the Super Attractor, Gabby Bernstein. And okay, I'm not gonna look. All right. Okay, ready? These are always so good. True manifestations are powered by service and love. True manifestations are powered by service and love. That is so true, you guys. And okay, so the ideas are exploding in my head, but one of the things I'm working on is in October. I know October seems like forever away, but it's really not. In October, I am planning a Create Joy workshop, and it will be over the course of a few weeks. And in one of the weeks, we're gonna be making our own deck, and I'm calling it the Joy Deck. And it's gonna be our own deck of cards we're gonna make as one of the things in this Create Joy workshop. And I'm so excited, like I can't even stand it. I have a whole, this is one of the books, you guys, that on my retreat, Dawn bought for all of us. I mean, she's so generous. Isn't this so beautiful? So everybody got one of these because she has one, and she gifted this, and these were on our bed. And I have a whole entire, so in the morning I wake up, I have a whole thing, like this one is just called Ideas, and then this one is my Create Joy workshop. And as the summer goes along, you guys will hear all about it. Oh my gosh, Sandra, yeah, my mom told me that you were doing some sketching. All right, you have to share, all right? You have to share. So I love you guys. I want you to have an amazing week. And if you can do a little bit of sketching, I would love to see it. Sandra, I'd love to see yours. Sandra is so talented. And, you know, just remember, it's only 5 minutes. 5 minutes standing in line, waiting for your coffee, whatever it is, you guys will, trust me when I tell you, it will make you feel better. If you're having a hard day, it will make you feel better. If you're having an amazing day, it will make you feel that much better. Sky's the limit on how awesome you can feel. So have a good week. I will see you here next week. And let me know too. You can always email me if there's anything you guys want me to talk about or show or any of that stuff. So yes, heading to the beach, okay? Mwah. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.